let's see if something come through regarding internet then.
Hmm.
Okay. There is, so what I'm saying is that there's some kind of comparison that needs to be done between internet, the web, and space, galaxy. There's something there in the structure. Um, I think there is a certain the comparison is also about the artificial nature of internet and the artificial nature of the galaxy. And what is coming through? I'm just hearing the sentence space is not like that. Okay, so what I'm seeing is that space as an infinite space is a different, it's a separate thing than the galaxy. Almost like the galaxy is this artificial space, enclosed, and space it is an outer space. It's different, and it feels more natural. What does natural mean? I don't know. But the galaxy is enclosed, and it's different than space. And galaxy is a comparison for internet. Something similar there. Hmm. And I feel like I am not channeling this information directly from source. I feel like a being is a particular, a specific being is talking to me.
Do you have any idea about the being?
Uh, he shows himself as a very, very tall, thin being, and I think what he's telling me is that he's showing himself as a very thin, tall, gray, transparent being to tell me that he doesn't really have a body because um, this is the. It's like he's picking something very disincarnate because he doesn't really know. It's not that he doesn't know. Um, I think he's never really there's something about the density, like our density doesn't really make sense for him, so that's why he's picking this very disincarnate body shape, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So what he's showing me is that it's like energies are absorbed by his body, and it's like the in and the out. It's like his body, quote unquote, absorb, and then um, it doesn't diffuse out of himself. I think it's like he's absorbing, transmuting something within his body, but it's not coming out anywhere, but it's going somewhere, like in his inner world or something. It's a bit weird what I'm saying, but it's almost like he has a specific role, and it's about information. He absorbed this information. It's not going anywhere. Almost feel like a black hole kind of situation. So I would like to ask him if why this comparison with internet and the web? He says the comparison is that both have servers, physical places where it's stored,
Hmm.
something like that. I saw a big cube, like a station, something where our galaxy, or the projection of our galaxy, is produced and stored in a specific place.
Yeah, as you were describing this, I saw like a grid or fabric of information. It's just like space-time just appears as numbers, ones and zeros. And there are specific points in space where the information condenses or is stored, and that appears as the galaxies to us. But yeah, space, how we see it, is more like an illusion. It's simply these servers that the being is speaking of are basically like room dividers, different playgrounds for consciousness to play. And you can move from one server to the other more freely than you think. Similar to the internet where you can access any place on Earth as long as you have, so to speak, the entry code, the password to any server. And I'm hearing the entry code for our universe is just the intention that you can access any galaxy, any, so to speak, server with your intention.
Mhm.
And I felt very strongly that at the start of the internet, its initial desire for humanity was connection and has always been connection. And the internet was the new representation of that. But it has since been used also by places of power to regain control. And I'm also almost seeing like a revolution again over the internet, that it will be brought back to the people, and that power will be taken away from bigger companies that will try to control the internet.
Um, was internet a technology that was gifted to humanity?
Yes, that's what I'm hearing.
Mhm. Um, can you see a timeline of when this technology was received?
I saw Nikola Tesla. I feel like the general idea of internet was in the minds of people long before it first came through. This idea of connection, almost like an unconscious knowing of people that telepathic communication is possible, and that the internet is basically the representation of telepathic communication, where you can send information from one place of the earth to the other in a matter of seconds or even less. And that the general idea started at the beginning of the 20th century, so 1900, and then
Okay.
evolved and was given to multiple people. And then, yeah, I'm seeing the creator of the internet. And it just started out just as I think an idea of convenience, where a person just wanted to communicate with a friend, someone locally, and they were just playing around with it. And this joy-like, fun-like energy allowed the person to just be open to develop this idea further. And then it grew into the size of the city, connecting houses in the city. And then eventually more and more places started adopting the technology, with more and more people getting the inspiration to join in on the inspiration to yeah, expand the web.
Mhm. The timeline that I'm seeing is that there was some part of this technology already gifted in the 18th century, then something more major, as you said, in the early 20th century. And then there's something specific. Um, it's some kind of trigger for manufacture or, yeah, the manufacture of, I guess, computers. I'm not sure, but
Mm.
that's not what I was seeing. I just received the word trigger in the 1960s. There was a trigger, apparently something that was like an accessory or like a trigger, something like that. When you mention a little bit earlier, when you channeled, you mentioned numbers. And the being that I'm channeling with was quite excited. He wanted you to explore a little bit more numbers. As and what he showed me, it's very similar to him. He showed me that numbers, um, they absorb and they receive and they send energy, but he is telling me they absorb more than they receive more than they um, project.
Mhm.
Apparently, numbers. Um, he alors, I think it depends. He depends on each number. They have a specific balance of how much information they receive and how much information they project or create. So let's see if there is anything else that can. I'm seeing colors, and what he's telling me is that there's more numbers elsewhere, just like there's more colors elsewhere.
Mm. Yeah, I'm feeling like for every physical realm, a specific set of numbers is chosen that helps represent the energy of the realm in the best way. I'm hearing the constants of nature, like the numbers that we have found to apply to the physical laws, but even those numbers shift slightly throughout times, depending on the consciousness of the human race. Because, yeah, nothing is set in stone. Like these numbers are kind of like circuits or transistors. As you said,
Mhm,
also seeing
mhm,
energy going in, but energy going out in a different way. And similar to the servers of the universe, like this, seeing this grid of space-time with numbers, and all these numbers are connected with each other, and some numbers are more dense than others.
mhm,
It's like grid points, so energy points where energy is localized, and I'm hearing that humans can tap into these points of energy around them. It's like there are
mhm,
miniature servers of energy all around us, of data that you can connect with. And these then amplify your energy or your ability to access information. But it depends on your state of being, how open you are, and also your intentions. And this will determine how effective these points are that you can connect with.
mhm. All right. I'm gonna ask the being if there's something else we should explore about numbers. What he's showing me is that he's showing me that there's something about the climate, there's something about the rhythm of the earth that is very, very simple. It's almost like a condescending tone, like, don't you see? It's all about numbers. But um, it's like there's something very obvious that we are not getting. I mean, obviously, like models, like prediction models for weather, we all know about that, but apparently there's something we are missing there. I'm gonna try to see a little bit more what it is.
I did get the word feedback loop.
Hmm.
You assume the numbers or any observation just flows one way in time, but there's a constant feedback loop that you need to include in your calculations. The very act of focusing on things already has an effect.
Hmm. The feedback loop. Alors, what I'm seeing is that the feedback loop has something to do with the inner weather of the Earth. There's it's almost like we have the weather, the climate in our atmosphere, and there is also inside the Earth some other dynamic, some other weather ecosystem, and there's something connecting both, and 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 if ever, I have no idea, but if ever uh how do you call that, geobiologist um are trying to, I don't know if it's a current topic of research, but if they are trying to find out um the inner, like winds in intra earth, like inside earth, winds, storm. I'm actually seeing electric storm inside the earth. They can. It's almost like there's this feedback loop, this equation, this model that can be built um, from what we know of our climate. I don't know. But I don't know exactly what he's showing me, but there's some kind of feedback loop, and there's a missing piece, and it's not really a condensant tone,
Mhm.
condescending tone, but there's something like, don't you see? Don't you see?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, super excited about this. And yeah, as you were
Hmm.
describing this, I saw, or I also heard the phrase that our weather on the surface is just the tip of the iceberg of Earth's weather. And we think that it is all there
Hmm.
is to Earth's weather, but it's just, you could say like the foam on a cup of coffee. It's just the very top that we are
Yeah.
observing, and we think that's all, but it goes much deeper than that.
Yes. I'm seeing like a geomagnetic storm
Mm.
um, in one of the layers. I think it's very close to the core. There's something there. It's like we are looking at our sun because that's what we see,
Mm.
but we have another sun inside our Earth who seem to have an even more, um, even bigger importance. But and it's more, yeah. There's something very, very important about this sun that we are ignoring or denying. Um, um, there's something to do with our power plant, nuclear power. They knew something.
Mm.
Or maybe that's a direction to explore if we want to understand what exactly we are channeling, to look at power plant and especially not power plant or not the technology, but to look at maybe writings from the people who invented this technology.
Mm.
Invented, quote unquote, I heard.
Yeah, probably more like received. But
Hmm.
I'm also hearing distorted. At least
Mm,
that's what I'm getting. It's the there's a strong push from humanity to become independent with its energy and to basically start from scratch. But there's already like a huge sun burning in the core of your very own planet.
mhm.
And there's ways you can harvest that energy much more efficiently than you are currently doing.
What I'm seeing actually is that the technology was received regarding nuclear power, and humans, or a certain group of humans, um, uh, decided to only use a part of it and gatekeep the rest of the technology. And that was that it made the those who gifted this knowledge a little bit frustrated, um, because they really meant to gift everything, and certain humans decided to gatekeep a part of it for, but it was a gift to humanity. um, and it's a recurring topic, the gatekeeping of a part of the gift, and it's part of control, obviously. I mean, this is, yeah, it's
Yeah.
very recurring.
Yeah, it feels like a circle back moment to the internet, where there's also parts being gate kept and monitored and controlled.
Yes. And I'm hearing that this is they do that in order to commercialize or make as much money as much as possible. Uh, Oula, they want to make money as much as possible on this part of the technology, and gradually they cannot give everything. They need to make as much money as possible from the small part of the technology, and that's why they're releasing it um, um, slowly.
Mm.
And so it's not just about power. It's very, very simply. Uh, um, I'm receiving a lot of information. They are saying, don't think that those people are just like this control freak overlord. It's much more simple and much more primitive than that. It's about money
Mm.
first. Um, and that's why they suck as much money as possible, and then they release the next technology. And the beings who gifted this technology are very frustrated because they really wanted this to be offered to humanity for ascension, although they knew that would happen. But yeah, it's a little bit difficult from them for them, but that's how it is for now.
Mm.
Mm.
I am seeing a shift though, like in the not
Mhm.
so far future. So
Yes.
there's something to look forward to. I feel like, well, right now, I think the uncovering of darkness is like focusing quite a lot on the dense topics. I feel like there will be more, let's say, less negative uncoverings in the future that will be about the, yeah, so to speak, gatekeeping of technology,
Mhm.
in which, yeah, companies will have to explain themselves, because if these companies and people choose to continue with their behavior, the next technologies will be given to different people. There will be new companies
Mhm.
that will be created that will have a different mindset, and this will cause
Mhm.
the companies that want to make as much money as possible to fall behind and to lose their position.
And what the being just told me is that there will be way too much to gatekeep anyway.
Hmm.
There will be way too
Yeah.
much. Mhm. Um, mm, I feel like I'm approaching the end of this story, let's say,
Mhm.
for now.
Yeah, same. I saw an image of nature, of a river now.
Mhm.
It's maybe a little sign to, since we have talked so much about technology, to tap into some nature energies.
Mhm. Mhm. Mm.
I'm actually seeing the Amazonian rainforest now,
Mm.
but it's funny how it is also represented to me like the internet. I'm seeing it like an artificial web
Yes.
of energy nodes. It's funny. It
What
has
I'm
this.
getting,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying that we made we I don't know we who, but we made the Amazonian forest that way to prevent people from not prevent people, make sure not a large amount of people would inhabit these areas because of what's underneath. Uh, And what I'm seeing is that underneath this Amazonian forest, there's incredible structures. It's the biggest, the largest archive of the old world.
Mm.
Whatever old, I don't know exactly which old world, but there is a relica. There's so much underneath. It's the largest, I don't know, um, treasure from our past. Atlantis is nothing
Mm.
compared to what was underneath.
Yeah, I heard you will find true technology there, technology that you have never seen before.
Mhm, mm, mm. I think we are teasing a new episode only on that topic.